The business.
Welcome back to another episode, another installment of Day One Radio, right here on ABLradio.com. That's Art Beats and Lyrics Radio to be exact. Make sure you download the very free, very accessible smartphone app for your iPhone and Android devices. And also make sure you check out the entire Day One Radio catalog at DayOneRadio.com, as well as in the iTunes podcast section. My name is Maurice Garland. I'm one of your gracious co-hosts. And to my right, I have
the world famous BP, BrandenLSK. What's good, bro?
I'm chilling, man. Shoot, we got a very special guest, man. A friend of the show that we've been meaning to get on here for a long time, man.
Yeah, most definitely. This week he's celebrating 1 year anniversary of his new brand, Maven brand, NSD. Y'all probably seen the Never So Dope sweaters on magazine covers around town, online, and all of that. Doing so well, he got people bootlegging it. So, you know, we had the homie Keinon Johnson, a.k.a. Sleep, a.k.a. the Maven, in studio, and it was a pretty good interview. So, y'all kick back, check it.
What up, world? It's Rich Medina. You are now in tune to Day One Radio. Bang!
So welcome back to Day One Radio right here on ABLradio.com. Make sure you check out the entire archive of the show at DayOneRadio.com and in the iTunes podcast section. We have a very special guest, a friend of the show, you know, in and outside of the studio, man. We got none other than the homie Keinon Johnson in the building. What's going on, man?
Peace, world. Appreciate y'all having the brother.
Now, are you still going by Sleep Johnson, man? Because you call yourself the Maven nowadays.
You know, it depends on what generation you know me from. I've been out here quite a while, so, you know, if you know me as Sleep, we gonna stick with that. That means you know me from a particular era. For sure, man. So, like, for right now, though, man, Keinon is the head of the Maven brand. That's an umbrella brand, but the main product right now is something that you've been seeing on social media and in these streets for a year now. A year.
The Never Sold Dope t-shirts and sweatshirts, man. I bought two. You gave me one, and I just came up on another one today. So appreciate that.
That's right. That's right. I owe Brandon one too. I was supposed to get him them Golden State colors, but somebody hit me with the jukes for his shirt. So you know, but come championship time, I got something new for you. I got you something for you, because y'all going two-peat. So I got something for you for this go around.
I'm glad that you know that.
Come on, man. I don't forget nothing. Nothing.
So, I mean, if people know you or have been aware of your career, they know you, especially in Atlanta and abroad, for promoting parties, also the work that you've done for record labels with several artists over the years. What made you jump into the fashion thing?
Man, it was totally by mistake, to be perfectly honest with you. Just a brief history on myself. I've been in the record business since probably 1994. I started off doing street promotions for Loud Records when I was at Clark Atlanta University. And upon graduating, I started working for Priority Records as the Southeast promotions director for them. You know, up until that point, I then transitioned into national director of promotions today with Interscope Records. So I still work in the record business. But for me, it just got to a point where I was just sitting around the house one day and I was like watching TV and I was just getting fed. I was watching videos. I was listening to the music driving back and forth. I'm watching the news and everything was super duper negative when it referred to young black men. And me knowing better about myself, my life, my peer group, I'm looking at the world like, yo, this is not us. This is not the extent of us. True. A lot of the things that you see on TV, the negativities, it has to do with some of our community, but definitely not the whole of it. And then, when I look at these videos and I see nothing but drugs being glorified, either we're selling them or using them, I'm like, yo, this ain't true. Like, because I know a lot of shorties don't have, parents, uncles, or daddies in their household these days, so they don't have a balance. They don't have somebody to tell them, like, look, this is entertainment and this is real life. I just feel like all of real life and entertainment is blended into one thing for these shorties, and it's all negative. So for me, it's like I owe it to the world, to these kids, to project my story, which is a story of coming from the hood, just like a million of us, making it out the hood, never ever selling one piece of drug in my life, but still being the coolest dude in the room at every room I go into, having the nicest things in the world, and showing you, like, whether it's, overtly or just in the back of your brain, like, damn, when you see me wearing that shirt, damn, either ask yourself, damn, I wonder how he did it, or damn, he didn't have to sell drugs to make it, but he still got that beautiful car, he still got that nice jewelry, you know what I mean? He still got that beautiful wife, and you don't have to look over his shoulder every day. So for me, I just felt the obligation to give a voice to the voiceless, because I feel like a lot of times people, they fight with their cool. You know what I'm saying, Brand? Like, yeah. People don't want to put their social equity on the line for for the sake of not being cool. And for me, it was like, you know what? I gotta be a man, and I gotta take a stand, because it starts with me. If I'm this cool, I'm gonna be cool through this, whether people accept it or they don't accept it.
And, I'm glad you brought that up, because one thing I wanted to ask you and hopefully, like, clarify is, like, because I remember when I first started walking around with mine, like, the looks on people's faces was worth it alone, first of all. But I did find myself in a lot of conversations with cats, and they'd be like, yo, so what you trying to say, bro? I mean, you judging folks that did sell dope or whatever. Right. I'm like, no, I mean, I don't think that's what the shirt means. Of course, like, the shirt means a lot of things to different people,
right.
But I was like, no, this is not what it means. Like, this means that, you can achieve a certain lifestyle without having to do it. It's not a thing of saying, you're judging somebody else for having to go through that.
Let me say this, man. I grew up, many of my family have sold drugs. Many of my friends have sold drugs. Some maybe still do. So for me, I'm not oblivious to the fact that there are way less opportunities for us in the hood. There are way less jobs. The unemployment levels for black people are ridiculous in our community. So in the manifesto that I send out with every piece of clothing that I send out, it says this message is not judging anyone, because the person who created this, realized that the circumstances present themselves. Well, sometimes you just got to deal with whatever you have the opportunity to put food on your family's plate. But for them shorties that deserve more, that need to know that there's more to the world than what's in their immediate surroundings, coming from their parents, their uncles, their nieces, their nephews, from the TV that's being beat down every day with negativity. So by the point when they become 10 years old, they feel like they're trapped into this endless spiral of stupidity. Nah, I owe them to show them you could do this without doing that. It ain't for you. It ain't for you, adult man. Do what you got to do. There's no judgment. If you feel like that's what you got to do, yo, you got to bear that cross. But for me, I got to do what I got to do. And if it means me projecting this image to save your niece or your nephew or your son or your daughter through my message, so be it.
Definitely. And it's funny, I get that. The one I get, I've never had any meaningful discussions about it, but I know I've been out and people have looked at me and been like, never? Like, it's such a random occurrence. And I know when me and Mo were at the Throw Your Man March, he had one on and somebody asked the same question. So it's definitely a conversation piece for sure.
And at the end of the day, y'all, man, there's a lack of conversation in general that goes on in the black community. We just a lot of times accept our circumstances and say, oh, that's what it is. And there's no conversation that can actually lead to solution. So with that, I know for a fact I get at least 2-3 times a week somebody that hits me on the side or on social media and says, yo, your shirt just touched off a firestorm conversation. Or yesterday, this girl, yo, I was walking through the airport. I was not ready to have to defend this message this morning, but you know what? I'm glad I did. Yo, but guess what? That's dialogue that wasn't there the day before. Because now when you see that guy that's pulling up the Lenox Mall in that Aston Martin, and he walking out with all them bags with that bad chick that looked like she walked out of Magic City, and you automatically assume he sold dope, and then he turns around, you see never sold dope. Now you gotta rethink your process as Mr. Whatever, Mr. Uppity black man or Mr. Uppity white person or kid that just thinks that that's all we could do. Now you gotta reestablish how you think. Feel me? So just imagine what that impression is on a kid, that all he thinks is, for real, this is all I can do in order to be successful and have nice things. Just imagine what that says to him. And now if you can open up the conversation with that kid and he stepped to you and y'all have a real dialogue, bruh, nah, you know what, little brother, I did grow up in whatever homes out here, but you know what, I ended up doing good. I got a scholarship. It wasn't easy, but you know what, I made it do what it do, man. And thank God I did make it. Now I own this company, or now I work for Coca-Cola as this, that, this. That's the dialogue that we need to have. Because these kids, all they see is these rappers that most of them are fronting, like projecting negativity. And a lot of them don't do what they say they do. So come on, like those of us that do well, we owe it to them to project some up. Not even, you ain't even got to do the Never So Dope message, but just say, yo, you don't have to do that, but project it in a way to where it's cool to them, where they receive it. Because you can't feed these kids with after school specials no more. They need to see it how it appeals to them in real life.
Right. Once again, in case you're just now tuning in, we are Day One Radio, ABLradio.com. We are in the house with our friend, our partner, Keinon Johnson, the creator of those Never Sold Dope T-shirts and hoodies. They got the women's sizes too. You know what I'm saying?
Got those. We got the ladies' tees now. They on the site, the MavenBrand.com. They waiting for you. You know, we got that for you.
So I mean, like, you're going on a year of selling these shirts, man. Like, when you first introduced this to the marketplace, how far in the future did you see the shirts going? Two, did you expect, I guess, like it wasn't an instant blow up type thing, but it's definitely gotten out there. Like, what were your expectations when you dropped this?
So the truth be told, there was no expectation. When I initially created it, my intentions was to start a branding company, because I work with a lot of different brands that come into Atlanta and they need people that are known in the market or that have influence in the market to kind of, curate certain things or get certain people in a room, at particular events. So I said to myself, let me create some structure for my business. That's what Maven Brand was supposed to be, a branding company. So with that, I said, I'm going to use Never So Dope, though, and send these out to tastemakers and people of importance around the country to get the conversation started. So when they get in the mail, they'll initially be like, well, what the hell is this? Let me call Keinon and see what he's talking about, because this don't make no damn sense. But what happened was, I'm wearing the hood. Well, let me go back a little bit. I made the hoodies in December. I sat on them for 2 months because, like anyone that's faced with jeopardizing their cool and putting their cool on the line, I was a little bit lightweight shook about putting this message out there, because now you got to put your social equity on the line. I sat with them. I was this close to giving them away to the Boys and Girls Club, or any club for that matter, that just is about positivity. And my wife was like, "Yo, what are you doing? Like, you just gonna give them away?" I was like, "Yeah, like I don't know." I was doubting myself. I was literally doubting myself. Then one day I wore it to the gym, to my man Taye's boxing gym, and I was like, Taye, take a picture on my way out. Took a picture, put it up on, I think it was February 4th of last year. Put it up on IG. Typically on IG, I usually get about 40, 45 likes, and the life of it is usually about an hour.
Right.
Put it up on IG. I literally got, I think, 245 likes in it, but it went the cycle of almost 24 hours with people commenting, people liking it, people saying, "Yo, what is that? Where can I get it? Oh my God, this shit is crazy." And that way, that right there was my affirmation that I really had something that was blessed and that needed to be said. And that gave me the energy to say, now, all right, let me create a store and make this shit available to people. So it was Grammy weekend, and I knew Grammy was going to be would drum up a whole lot of social media activity on that Sunday. This is Friday when I put the picture up. So over that next 48 hours, I took a homemade photo shoot, created an online store, which I had never done in my life, put the product up on the site, had it ready maybe an hour and a half before Grammys came up, launched it online a half an hour after Grammy started, and that was when it popped off.
Wow.
Crazy. When God puts you in a direction, sometimes you just got to follow without even knowing what it's going to be. And that's what that was. Like, it was truly inspiration of the highest order. I mean, just being honest, like, this is God. This is God. This is God. God is saying, bro, you made it out. You made it out the crack era in Harlem with on a lot of people's backs. And now it's your time to give back. This is my little way of striking some balance back into the universe.
B, you want to jump in?
That's great, bro. I was on the site the other day and I saw that you have some new stuff coming out too. The whole unapologetically black shirts.
Yeah,
what's the story behind that?
Yeah. I mean, we on to something now. So if we gonna be on this positive vibe, for me, it's like, all right, now I got your ears and your eyes and your attention. let me speak to what's going on. Look at this political race is going on. People are coming out the woodwork showing their true feelings about how they feel about us in this world of ours. Well, you know what? I ain't about excluding anyone, because I have plenty of white friends and Latinos and Asians for that matter. But at the end of the day, now it's time for us to speak about how we are unapologetically black, and not in a negative way, embracing everything that's beautiful, intelligent, great about being black and our heritage at the end of the day, but not in a corny way. If you look at the shirt is it's a rose, but made of a black power fist. So I didn't want to be so black power in your face, but I wanted the rose to be delicate and but be strong at the same time to show the beauty of who we are. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then the words in the background, unapologetic. I am what I am. You gotta love it or you gotta hate it, but I know I love myself. So for me, I just want to project, some black positivity, man. Like, we gotta change, like, the course we've been taking a lot of times about the whole after school special approach. Nah, we gotta infuse our positivity to the culture to make it where it's not corny, to make it where it's just lifestyle. And Maven brand is a lifestyle brand. It ain't about you trying to preach to nobody. This is me. You get the message. You get the message. You don't? All right, cool. But at least I'm projecting what my message is at the end of the day, and that's for anybody that feels the way I feel.
Like, you talked about social currency as far as, like your social cool or whatnot.
Yep.
Right, quick, want to backtrack a little bit, man. Like, what actually makes Kenan Johnson cool? Because, we did kind of like speed past, that part. You know what I'm saying? Like, what actually makes you cool, for the people listening that are thinking, all right, man, so how's this dude selling all these damn shirts? I ain't never heard of him.
Man, like I said, I've been in the music business almost 20 years. I think next year will be officially my 20th year in the business. But let me tell you what makes me cool. I've never been that guy in the music business that rested upon what gig I had. It's never been, that's Keinon from Interscope. Still, some people that know me for years to this day do not know what I do at Interscope, and I'm so cool with that. Because you know what? I know I'm cool. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm about stepping in a room and just projecting what it is. And that's good energy. That's consistent energy, and that's just that Harlem. That thing that come from Harlem is, young, fly, and flashy to the day I die. Whether I project it on some real in your face, or if it's just nonchalant and cool with it, that's who I am. I'm a guy from Harlem that came to Atlanta and made my way. And a lot of people know you for your parties too, man. You are one of the legendary, party promoters in Atlanta too. You gotta talk about that, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Shout out to my man Taye Samuel and Carlton Green, my partners with Team FCC. Team FCC was a company that these three brothers, including myself, started back in the late 90s. Initially, it was just doing parties, house parties in the hood of Atlanta, East Point. And, from there, just spun off into doing some of the biggest clubs in the city. We've done all of them. We've done the Visions. We've done the Compounds. We've done the Woodruff Art Center. We've done whatever. We've taken over the whole W Midtown for Clark Atlanta Homecoming, BT Weekend 5 years ago. Like, do your math for me. Keinon Johnson, it's real. But once again, I've never rested on what I did yesterday. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I want you to receive me when you see me, just because you feel like, damn, he got good energy. And then after you receive me and you realize what my accomplishments are, I want that to kind of just settle it in and put the stamp on me, like, that brother's official. He put in the work. You know what I mean?
Sure. And go ahead, B.
When are we bringing back Sunset Lounge, man?
Yo, so B, Sunset Lounge. We want to bring it back tomorrow, but this is the problem with trying to do Sunset Lounge.
Now, Sunset Lounge, for everybody that does not know, was one of the original
day parties in the city of Atlanta. And if it wasn't the best, if it wasn't the original, it was damn sure the best. Let's be clear. There may have been one or two before Sunset Lounge, but goddamn it, for 5 years, we had the biggest and best damn day party in the city at Shout Restaurant. Shout happened to close, I think, 2 years ago, and this is what the problem is why we haven't done Sunset Lounge. There just aren't any venues that equate to the perfectness that was Shout. It was the perfect mix of indoor, outdoor, great food, incredible drinks. The ambiance was just on stupid. Now we're tasked with going to venues that just may not may not match up adequately, whether it's the service, whether it's the look and feel of it. So for us, it's like, you know what? Rather than just throw you out a product that doesn't serve our brand correct and kind of taints the memory of what you remember Sunset Lounge to be, I'd rather wait, find the right venue, partner with the right people, and we'll do it occasionally. And when it will be back. It just may not be back on such a regular basis, because when we do it, we want it to be special. I don't want it to feel like a weekly. I don't want it to feel like anything that you can do on any given weekend. I want it to be like, damn, I remember how I felt that first time I went to Sunset Lounge and them folks was getting to it.
Right. Getting
goddamn to it on 1,000. That's what I want you to feel like. So for me, and my partners for that matter, anytime we've done events, we took, for the most part, we stayed away from weeklies during my entire career of doing parties. We dabbled in a few, and I was never truly happy with any of those, because that's just not me. We prefer special events and things that'll be real memories to people. So for us, if we're gonna bring back Sunset Lounge, we're gonna bring it back correct. So just be on the lookout for it. Follow me on social media, Keinon.the.Maven. You know what I mean? And when it comes, I'll put it out there.
Now, speaking of quality and coming correct, I don't want to shed too much light on these people, but how did you feel when you found out that Never Sold Dope was getting bootlegged in these streets, bro? Like, I was actually mad for you when I saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but a part of me was like, damn, he must be on to something if somebody's out here bootlegging the shirts.
It's twofold, man. It's in one respect, because I just want to get the message out there, I'm flattered. But in another regard, I'm pissed. Because it takes a lot of money, one, to create an apparel brand. There's a million lifestyle brands out here. So my investment, I can only keep this going if my investment is intact. But when you cut into my investment, I can't create new products, and I can't keep this thing going. And just to be perfectly honest, there hasn't been any money taken out of this Never So Dope venture as of yet by myself. Every dime that I've made goes right back into the movement and creating new products and learning how to move in this fashion game, because I never intended on being in fashion to any degree. So I just been learning from people and watching people that I know, and kind of watching other brands and how they move, and kind of taking little pieces here and there and just reinvesting. So for all you guys out there that have bootlegged it, I definitely get it. Everybody trying to get $1, but just know this is an earnest and noble thing I'm trying to do. This is not for me about making the bread. I haven't taken $1 out of it. I really want to create something that our people that didn't sell dope, that want to give back to the people even that did sell dope, give to their kids and their nieces and their nephews, to give them some hope and some opportunity. So I just ask that you please do not do it. And if you do it, hey, whatever. The lawyers will deal with that. But I would prefer you didn't.
So the shirt gained a lot of popularity. It boosted the profile, rather, when Ludacris appeared on the cover of the Source magazine rocking the black hoodie.
Crazy.
Now, was that a move on your part? Did you know that Ludacris was going to wear that? Did you give it to him? Did he ask you for it? Like, hey, I'm going to this Source magazine shoot.
No. Once again, everything that's been happening since day one has all just been like God moving, to be perfectly honest. Like, I had sent the items to a couple of different people, my peers, Shaka Zulu, people over at DTP. So then Tawny Fears, who works over there, who works for Shaka, ended up rocking it. So, one day I see on IG, she posts a picture of with Luda, and I'm like, okay, that's dope. I got a picture with Luda next to somebody rocking it. I'm cool with that. Whatever. Man, Shaka Zulu, his manager, I went to college with this brother. Never in a million years do I think Luda's going to be rocking the joint. So one day we're out, and somebody had previously told me, Luda got a line in one of his songs. He said, "And never sold dope," or some shit like that. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever, cool. Shaka's like, yo, I got a surprise for you. So I just, I start getting these messages from people in the camp like, yo, something going down, dog. So look up March 2015. The damn Source cover comes out. So as a kid from the 90s that grew up on the Source was my Bible.
Right.
The Source is the holy grail of hip hop. Smile every time my face is up in the Source is what Biggie said. So imagine what that feels like to a kid from Harlem to see something that he produced on the cover of the Source magazine. The most mind-blowing and proudest probably moment of my life, to be perfectly honest, because once again, this whole thing comes from an honest place So to see it transcend pop culture and just lifestyle and be carried to the world, not America, but the world, to see a black man on the cover of a worldwide magazine saying he never sold dope and project what he projects, he's the ultimate symbol of success. From Chicago, grew up in Atlanta, parents wasn't together, made it from radio, took it to rap, now he's in Hollywood. Look at that story.
Right.
It's the ultimate story. It's the ultimate story, ultimate symbolic story to a kid that you don't even have to tell him the story. You just see him on that magazine like, Then when you dig a little deeper, that's me. Yeah. So it meant the world. It still means the world to me. I don't want to thank Shaka Zulu, Jeff Dixon, and especially Luda for rocking it in more than one time. He rocks it on stage to this day. I just want to thank them sincerely because they didn't have to do it.
Right.
I didn't ask them to do it. They just did it because they felt like it was something that needed to be done.
For sure, man. Good stuff.
Nah, no doubt, man. I think we covered it all, bro. I appreciate you coming on the show, and happy 1 year anniversary. And here's many, many more.
Thank you to my day one folks. I've been knowing these brothers for a long time, and I definitely respect what they provide for the culture. They put in the work. I was just teasing Brandon a moment ago. He's at the Masters right now, out there with them white folk getting it, boy.
But hey, I gotta end the show with a tease too. Keinon hates when I do this, but man, Keinon helped me get through college, bro. Like Keinon and FCC gave me some scholarship money 1 year,
man.
And that's the year when I was really like, I don't know about this school shit. I'm about to go back home, but like that extra bump was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna go ahead and stay here and finish this thing, man. So I always got pay homage and thanks for that alone, man, because that really helped out. I don't know how much it was for y'all, but that shit meant the world to a 20-year-old in college trying to figure some stuff out, man.
Look, man, I challenge all my brothers out there that made it out or still making it out to always pay it forward because it can always be worse, especially if you're from the hood. If you making it out the hood, man, you got people that's helping lift you up and take you out of your circumstances. You owe it to your community to reach back and give back to these young brothers and sisters because they need us more than ever. It's a war out here, and these kids a lot of times do not have parents and people got in their lives, and by the time they're 10 years old, they out here to the world, fending for themselves. So I ain't preaching. I'm just saying if you made it out, you deserve. They deserve better just like you deserve better. Give back to your folk, man. They need us. Please.
For sure, man. We appreciate you coming through once again. Make sure you guys check out the Never Sold Dope t-shirts and hoodies at themavenbrand.com.
That's right. And you can find us on all social media at themavenbrand.com as well. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, your mama page, whatever. She on there. Follow us. We got it.
For sure. We'll be back after this break. This is Day One Radio, ABLradio.com.
Yeah, bitch.
Hey, this is Killer Mike. You listen to me on ABLradio.com, arts, beats, and lyrics, man. And this is Day One Radio with my man Brandon Peters and Maurice Garland. Suckers.
Hope you enjoyed that interview with Keinon Johnson. Make sure y'all check out themavenbrand.com. Get you one of those Never Sold Dope t-shirts. And remember, even if you are still kind of doing your thing and you want a better life for yourself, speak it into existence and get you a shirt too, man.
For sure.
So B, while we were doing that interview, man, you was gone, man. You was actually at the Masters, man. Tell me about that, man.
It was cool, man. It's the Masters ain't Augusta National ain't actually had a good relationship with black folks over the years, so it was a little trepidation that I went down there. But I can say it was pretty cool. It's still mostly older white men walking around the course, but I will say it was a few of us out there, enjoying it. Everybody was walking around smoking their cigars, drinking their brew, and all of that. So it was cool.
Did you get one of those pimento cheese sandwiches?
I didn't eat one. When I was first and foremost, I'm leery of anything you eat that costs $1.50. Secondly, I was reading the ingredients and I was like, yeah, I'm cool. I did have an egg salad sandwich though. It was pretty good.
All right, cool. Did you run into the homie Michael Jordan out there? I saw he was another brother.
Yeah. We was out there. We was actually staying on the same block in this development, so it was cool. Shout out to the good people over at Mercedes-Benz that hosted me and drove the SL65 down there. It was definitely using the Waze app and using cruise control because I was not trying to be the brother in a $250,000 car in between Atlanta and Augusta getting pulled over. That ain't the move. You can't really explain that one.
For sure, man. But you did get, some brothers back in your life too, though, man. I heard you went to check out a new movie that's out, man.
Yeah, Barbershop, man. What is it, Barbershop 3?
Yes, this is 3. The final cut, they said? Is that what they said?
It's something
or
like
the
that.
next cut?
Something about a cut. It was pretty. It was better than I expected it to be. I will say that, and I think it's going to do really well when it opens Friday. What is that? Friday the 15th.
Yeah.
So tax day, So it was cool, man. They touched on a lot of issues. They touched both sides of issues. It felt like it was a lot of comedy, and it was cool. I enjoyed it. It wasn't necessarily for people who are really heavily into what's going on out here in these streets and what's going on with social issues. It kind of just glossed over the top of a lot of stuff. But I think they meant well. And, it's Malcolm Lee, so you kind of know what you get with a Malcolm Lee directed product.
And what is that?
He directed The Butler. You know what I'm saying? You kind of know what you're going to get. But, props to Cube and all them brothers. Deion Cole was hilarious in the movie. Michael Rainey, who is the kid, who is a ghost kid on Power.
Okay.
Was also in. He played Ice Cube's son. He was pretty good in it. And it was entertaining. The only thing I couldn't, because a lot of people made appearances that were in the old one. So Eve is in this one. Common actually did a good job. He's in this one. What's my man name from Blackish? Anthony Anderson.
Yeah.
He's in it. Most of the characters are in it, whether they're playing themselves or somebody who's evolved or whatever. But Michael Ealy wasn't in it, which I was like, that was kind of weird because he was in the first two. So, I don't know. That was kind of weird. Maybe he fell out with somebody. Who knows? But go see it, man. Go support black films.
How did Nicki Minaj do with it? Because I see that they're promoting her heavy for being in it.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj's body was definitely a focal point for whoever was directing or editing this movie. There was a lot of there was even a twerking scene in it, and it made sense for the film. I don't want to ruin it for y'all, but it wasn't like she was just twerking for the sake of twerking.
Okay,
if there is such a thing. But it was cool, man. I enjoyed it. I didn't walk out mad like I did with Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, everybody said that movie sucked, man.
Oh, it's trash. But we not even gonna go back to that. But it was cool, man. You went and saw something recently too?
Yeah, man. I was able to see a advanced screening of Keanu, which is the new movie from Key and Peele, formerly from the Comedy Central show. It was a funny movie, man, because it felt like I got the advertisement, ramped down my throat, on Hulu and all the other services that I watch TV through. So I was like, man, somebody really wants me to see this movie. They
probably, I bet you if you look deep into it, they probably cut a check like with Chirac, how Amazon paid for a lot of it.
So it's like, no, the movie was actually funny, man, because, Key and Peele's comedy has always been very hit or miss with me.
Definitely.
Because there are definitely clips of theirs that I enjoy, but every time I will say, you know what, I'm going to actually sit down and try to watch a whole show of theirs. I'm like, no, I'm just going to stick to whatever pops up on my Facebook feed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they working though. I see one of them is in like a booking.com commercial and stuff. Like them dudes they get into it. They done came a long way from making a fake ass Chappelle show.
Right. I don't want to say it was fake, man. It had their own flavor on it, man. But it's hard for any comedian of color, period, to fill those shoes because they've tried over the years.
It's hard for any sketch comedy show to come after Chappelle. So
right.
It was like we had a few over the years, and then in the '90s, and Living Color was the one, and then for what do they call them? The aughts. Chappelle show was it.
Yeah. Keanu was funny though, man. Method Man is in it. Girl from the Carmichael show is in it too.
Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, like she's in it. It was a funny movie, man. Oh yeah. Dang, I told myself I was going to remember his actual name, but the dude that played Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton, Jason Mitchell. Yeah, okay. He's in it, so he's pretty funny, man. So It was a funny movie, man. Like it's worth checking out. I'll say that it's worth checking out if you need to laugh, man.
So I think that comes out on the 29th or something like that. So you saw a super duper advanced screening.
Right. You know, it's coming out the same day as this highly anticipated Drake album everybody's waiting on.
Yeah.
April 29th.
Yeah. I haven't really felt none of the Drake songs that have dropped.
Me neither.
Normally there's at least one where I'm like, I ain't no Drake fan, but this go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I wonder if it has, and I could be speaking ahead of myself, I wonder if it has anything at all to do with that it's being released in a manner where you're not really taking the risk of paying for it.
What you mean?
Well, it's going to be on Apple Music. So it's like if you're paying $9.99 for Apple Music, you're essentially getting the album. You know what I'm saying? Then it's going to be on the streaming services after a week or so. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I wonder if stuff like that is going to start having a impact on the quality of music. Cause like I'm not even a Future fan like that, but I've heard folks say, man, that last Future was all right. But it's like, well, you didn't really have to pay for it. You know, if you had it, you know, if you had Apple Music, you was getting it. You know what I'm saying?
So this is part of that deal. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder is he gonna do like Kanye and say this album will never be on Tidal, and then 3 weeks later it's on Tidal.
No, it's on Apple Music for 1 week exclusively, and then it's on everything else.
Yeah, I'll just go on and give it away, dude. Like, it is what it is, man. Speaking of albums, this weekend is the annual Record Store Day on April 16th, so that's always cool. And I think, what did they say? Like, vinyl has been like really coming up the last few years as far as sales is concerned. So if you see a line outside of the independent record store in your town, you know what it is. And it's a lot of hot stuff coming out, dude. Like, I was just looking, because last year, I think they had the F the Police joint from Dilla on, like, the crazy-looking vinyl or whatnot, and I wanted to get it, but that line was super long, so I went ahead and passed. But I was just looking over the website, and just, you know, to give y'all a little bit of information, man, DOC, no one can do it better. I didn't even notice that the album had been out of circulation, like the vinyl, since damn near the first pressing.
Oh, wow.
Like, there was never a second pressing.
Oh, wow.
Of it. So since 1989. So we talking damn near 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so that one is coming out. It's only 1,200 pieces, though, so that's going to be a little crazy. Kevin Gates' album, you know, Mr. Two Phones, they're releasing the album. What is it? Isla? Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Yeah, on gold vinyl, which is dope. So it's the first time that's been out. Dilla the Diary, which is like a bunch of stuff that vocals he recorded early on with production from Madlib, Pete Rock, Knots, House Shoes, Kareem Riggins. They're dropping that and a 7-inch special pressing of the X, which should be dope. Scarface, Deeply Rooted, they're doing it on picture vinyl, which is like 1,500 pieces, so that should be dope. But the one I'm looking forward to is the JBs did a show in 72 at the Apollo.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be recorded for an album, but it was never released. So 2 songs came out on the Live at the Apollo CD to drop last year, but they're actually releasing like a full LP of the 1972 show.
Wow.
So I might stand in line for that.
Also, they're releasing the single Outkast Elevators on vinyl that day too, with some like special remixes and all that kind of stuff too. You know, that stood out when I saw the I guess like the hip hop releases or hip hop related releases that are coming out on Record Store Day.
It's a lot of ills. I know they got an Etta James joint that's coming out. I saw the for the people with the 3D phone or the VR phone thing, they got a cardboard viewer for Run the Jewels that Mass Appeal is doing. So it's a lot of ill stuff coming out, man. A lot of collectibles and whatnot. So that should be cool. So, you know, beef up your vinyl collection, man. Go out and support your local record store, man. Keep these stores afloat, because after a while, Best Buy ain't going to be selling stuff no more. So,
and you know what, man? And I hope that, you know, stuff like Record Day does help, because, like, I used to love the feeling of walking into a record store and, you know, feeling like I could trust the person that worked there to tell me what was dope and what was not. Because, you didn't really get that from Best Buy either. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you go to Best Buy, they just like, hey, give me your $15 and get out. But the record store, you can ask a person like, hey, is this dope? Should I be spending my money on this? And they'll keep it real, not just telling you for the sake of a sale. They'll be like,
right.
Yeah, no, but you might like this one instead. You know what I'm saying?
And another public service announcement. If you buying vinyl at Urban Outfitters, you hella corny. Like,
what's corny about that? I've never done it, but there have been times I've walked in there and been like,
come on,
hey.
Man. Nah, dude. Go to a real record store. Go to a real record store, man. Go support a real. Unless you like live in a town where that's like the only place you can get it. But come on now. That's crazy. Yeah, man. Also, the playoffs start this weekend, which should be, cool NBA playoffs. I think the Hawks probably third seed. I think they locked in the third seed, or they're close to locking it in.
Well, we could have locked it in by beating Cleveland. Hopefully, by the time this show is broadcast, we'll lock that third. They beating Boston the other night helped because that's who was right behind us.
Yeah. I think y'all got it, man. The Hawks playing good ball right now.
Yeah.
I just don't know who. I don't understand the coaching, bro. Like y'all played somebody the other night, and in the first half, Teague was balling, and I didn't see him in the second half. I don't understand. I don't know if he practiced bad. I don't know if he got. It seems like they're trying to force Dennis Schroeder as that guy down fans' throats, and it just ain't working, man.
Well, I think it may be a thing where those rumors of Teague getting sent off. It probably wasn't going to happen this season, but it's probably going to happen down the line. So they're just.
But if you're gonna trade him, then I would think you would want him on the court playing extremely well to raise the value.
See the product, right?
Like, hey, you want this guy on our bench? Like, you ain't gonna get nothing for that. And he starts and he plays more minutes. It's hella weird. I don't understand Coach Bud's rotations at all. Like, I don't get it. But hey, y'all playing really well. So. I know it's super early to pick now, but who do you have in the NBA Finals?
Hawks and Warriors.
Okay, so that was your heart pick. Your basketball analyst pick. Who do you got?
Basketball analyst pick? Cavs and Spurs.
I like that. Okay.
Because, it's like, because I want to see that Spurs Warriors 7-game series. I think it's going, if they face each other in the playoffs, in the finals, the West Conference Finals, which is very likely. Yeah. I think it's going to go to 7 games. Granted, the regular season games have not been the best showing of this matchup. But a lockdown 7-game series between those two, I think a lot of people are going to be in for a better series than they're expecting.
We've only seen one fair game, and I believe that was the game the other night. Not the game in San Antonio, the game in Oakland where both teams were at full strength.
Right.
But other than that, like Diaw and Duncan have been out. Duncan's been out. Iguodala, Azili, and I forgot who else was that. Like, it's always been like players sitting or players injured. I respect the Spurs 100%. I think Pop is a phenomenal coach, and I think Duncan is one of, if not the greatest power forward of all time. I really, for the life of me, do not understand how they're this good this year because on paper, and if you really watch them, they should not have won this many games because they have a lot of flaws on the floor. But I honestly, I don't see it going 7. And honestly, I
think they're a team, though, like, because the thing about hoops sometimes, you can be a flawed team.
And just click.
But it's not even just click. You can be a flawed team, but if you can capitalize on the opponent's flaws,
true,
which is something that they do very good, you're going to win games.
That's real. Honestly, though, bruh, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't put no bread on it, but I could easily see, just because of athleticism, I could see Oklahoma City upsetting the Spurs in the second round. I wouldn't put no bread on it because you don't know what OKC team you're going to get from night to night.
Right.
But I can see it happening for real. Like I don't buy into LaMarcus Aldridge, and I don't think Kawhi is there yet. I think he's gonna get there, but that dude is not passing the rock once he get the rock, and that's the one thing I have when he drives. If it ain't there, he gonna pump fake, and it's gonna be a bad pass, or he's gonna pump fake and shoot. But when you're calling somebody an elite player, they gotta be a triple threat player. You gotta, and he ain't there yet to me. But yeah, honestly, my gambler side says Warriors Heat in the final.
Heat?
I think the Heat is playing possum, bro. They got it, cause Dwayne Wade hella old.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Body wise, like he ain't old in age, but he's body wise old. Joe Johnson hella old, but dude, they got a team to me that could beat Cleveland, cause they deep. They got Dragic at point.